There was once a man who lived at the edge of the world, where the land crumbled into the sea, and the sky stretched so far that it seemed to swallow time itself. He was neither young nor old, neither rich nor poor. The people of the nearby village feared him, for he spoke little and watched much. They called him the Silent One, and they whispered that he had lived 100 lives before this one. No one knew if it was true. One evening, a traveler came to his door, a young man with restless eyes and a voice that cracked like burning wood. The traveler was impatient, desperate. He had wandered far and suffered much, and he demanded answers. "Tell me," he said, "how do I find what I seek? How do I make the world move as I will it? I have waited too long. I have worked too hard. Still, the road stretches before me, endless. I am tired of waiting." The Silent One studied the traveler for a long moment. Then he stood and beckoned the young man to follow. Together they walked beyond the cliffs, into a place where the trees grew twisted and gnarled, their roots clutching at the earth like ancient fingers. The air smelled of forgotten storms. They came upon a clearing where a black tree stood alone, barren and brittle. The Silent One knelt and pressed a single seed into the soil at its base. Then he sat, folding his hands in his lap, and stared at the empty ground. The traveler frowned. "What is this?" he asked. The Silent One did not answer. He only watched the earth. Minutes passed, then an hour, then 2. The traveler shifted his weight, crossing and uncrossing his arms. The silence stretched, thick as fog. "Nothing is happening," he said, his voice sharp with frustration. "Nothing will happen." Still, the Silent One said nothing. The traveler gritted his teeth. "What do you expect? That I will sit here and wait for the seed to break through the ground? That I will waste my days for something that may never come?" The Silent One blinked slowly, as if acknowledging him for the first time. And then, finally, he spoke. "What would you have me do?" The traveler hesitated. Shall I rip open the earth and drag the roots into the light before they are ready? Shall I command the rain to fall before the sky wills it?" The traveler was silent. The old man continued. "You rage against time as though it were an enemy. You claw at the edges of your path, hoping to tear away the distance that separates you from your desire. But tell me, if you had a child in your arms, would you demand it grow before it has learned to walk? Would you carve open the cocoon to free the butterfly before its wings have formed?" The traveler clenched his jaw. "But I have waited so long." "Yes," said the Silent One, "and so has the seed, buried beneath the soil, unseen, struggling against the dark, yearning for the sun. But it does not rush to rise. It does not break itself apart in impatience. It waits, because it must." The wind shifted, rustling the dead branches of the black tree. The traveler looked down at the patch of soil, untouched, unbroken. "How long will it take?" he asked at last. The Silent One stood, dusting off his hands. "As long as it must." He turned back toward the cliffs, leaving the young man standing alone in the clearing. The traveler looked again at the seed buried in darkness, and for the first time he understood. And so he sat, and he waited.